A rocking defense, a leader, a legend, but also a name that's never far from controversy. A man who splits opinions. Some hail him as a passionate, firm leader of men, winning almost every hardware a player could imagine, similar to the Roy Keanes of old. Others see a black man with a volatile temperament, often linked to controversial incidents throughout his career. But whatever your perception of him may be, Rio was just a kid from the streets of Peckham, navigating a world where the odds for success were next to impossible. Yet, against all odds, he lifted his family out of poverty through football. So how did a black kid from the ghetto, a ballet dancer at that, make it into the Premier League? At just 12 years old, Rio faced a life-changing realization, one that would demand great sacrifice most kids wouldn't even consider. In November 1978, Janice Lavington and Julian Ferdinand, a St. Lucian immigrant, welcomed Rio Gavin Ferdinand into the world. What was a moment of great joy came during a turbulent time for Great Britain. The economy was in crisis, and as the years passed, his childhood neighborhood plunged deeper into despair. It became known as the 80s equivalent of the Victorian slum culture, where visitors encountered defeated residents with no hope, no ambition, and the charred remains of rubbish set on fire by children, according to The Spectator. Peckham wasn't just rough, it was suffocating. To Rio, his community was like a ball of negativity, gangs, stabbings, shootings, not to mention the racial tension. Every day he saw the reality of what happened to kids who lost focus. He had a choice: embrace the negativity or fight to escape it. Despite the overwhelming chaos around him, Rio refused to fall into despair and excelled in everything he touched. Football was his escape. His youth coach even nicknamed him Pele for his skill and flair. Surprisingly, he had a love for the arts, winning a ballet scholarship and even representing Southwark in gymnastics at London Youth Games. It's clear the path Rio chose, but unlike many of us, he did something most people struggle with at an early age. He made a choice. He decided which passion would define his future: football. Most kids dream. Rio committed. He knew he was better than others his age, but to prove it, he had to challenge himself beyond his comfort zone. He understood that pulling his family out of poverty would come at a cost: his childhood, time with friends, and moments with loved ones. Are you at a similar crossroads in your own life? Is your dream asking you for a great sacrifice? Let's see what Rio did next. From a ballet-loving kid in Peckham to the most expensive defender in the world, Rio Ferdinand's defining moment had arrived. After years of battling setbacks and enduring hardships, his dream had finally become reality. In 2002, at just 22 years old, Rio signed with Manchester United for a record-breaking transfer fee, making him the most expensive defender not just in the Premier League, but in the world. That very season, he helped United reclaim the league title, an achievement that once seemed impossible. It was a dream come true. You think it's never going to happen? I'd been playing professional football for 7 years and never even got close to winning the league. So when I signed for Man United, that was my whole aim. All I dreamed about was winning the league, and now I was at the club where the platform was there to win. To do it in the first season was great, Rio recalled. Integral to United's success, Rio became the defensive pillar of the team. His composure, tactical awareness, and leadership helped United set a Premier League record for the fewest goals conceded, just 25. His record-breaking price tag? More than justified. But just when life seemed perfect, disaster struck. During a routine training session, Rio missed a mandatory drug test, a mistake that led to an 8-month ban from football, a crushing blow at the very peak of his powers. Forced to watch from the sidelines, his reputation took a brutal hit. The fallout was controversial. Manchester City's Christian Negor had also missed a drug test that same year, but received no ban and was merely fined £2,000 according to the Telegraph. For Rio, the punishment felt unfair, but instead of breaking him, it ignited a fire. Missing an entire season meant missing trophies, missing moments, missing time he could never get back. Yet, when he returned, he was stronger than ever, his hunger for redemption driving him to new heights. Over the following seasons, he led United to multiple league titles, and in 2008, helped them secure the coveted UEFA Champions League trophy, this time as the team's captain, not just a player. His evolution was undeniable. From a raw, promising talent to a composed leader, Rio's career was no longer just about skill, it was about resilience. Rio was a warrior, but even warriors can't fight time. From 2009 to 2013, the battles changed. Injuries mounted, his body slowed, and once again Rio found himself at a crossroads. He had spent a career defying expectations, but now he faced a challenge that no amount of skill could outrun: when to stop. On Sir Alex Ferguson's final day in charge, Rio gave us one last moment of magic, scoring in the legendary manager's farewell match. A poetic ending, yet deep down he knew this was the last chapter. Unlike many of us, Rio understood when to let go. In his letter to his 12-year-old self, he wrote, "You're just a kid now. It seems like it'll never happen, but at some point your body is just going to break down. Listen to it. Don't embarrass yourself. When you walk off a pitch, not getting a single touch of the ball, know it's time to stop clinging on." And that's the hardest lesson, isn't it? You've had success, but that time has passed. You stand at a crossroads. Do you cling to the past, or do you adapt and move forward? Because the end isn't failure. It's an invitation to evolve. In the later stages of his career, Rio wasn't just a leader. He became a mentor, a guiding pillar at Man United. He shaped young talent, helping them navigate the relentless pressures of football while pushing them to be their best. Just ask Danny Simpson. So it was no surprise that in 2012, Rio launched the Rio Ferdinand Foundation, his way of giving back to the youth who faced the same struggles he did. His mission? To provide structured support, giving young people from under-resourced communities the tools to rise above inequality and social injustice, to break the cycle that trapped many before them. This speaks volumes. Not just about the man he became, but the boy still inside. The one who understood the delicate balance of his own life, the fine line between the success and the streets. Because had a few choices gone differently, he could have been another name lost to the struggle. Rio Ferdinand's journey proves that talent alone isn't enough. Resilience, sacrifice, and the will to rise above your circumstances define true success. From the streets of Peckham to football's grandest stages, he fought through adversity and refused to be a product of his environment. The question is, will you do what it takes to rewrite your history, or will you let your circumstances decide it for you? Rio Ferdinand, a kid who was fated to be swallowed up by the destructive environment he lived in, became a Manchester United legend and a Premier League Hall of Famer. And talk about rewriting your destiny. But he wasn't alone in rewriting his script. Paul Parker, a fellow Man United legend, also shattered expectations and inspired many. Watch the video above to learn more about this Manchester United legend.